Radio Free America. This is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
The guys and gals have got...
And welcome everybody to our Daily Gun Show. Going to be live every weeknight at midnight, and we talk about guns for an hour. See if anybody shows up tonight. Episode 1200 something. Conversation about guns. That is probably not the All right, so here's the link. I wonder what link that is. Go over here and click on it and see what it links to. That just links to the Daily Gun Show's page, I guess. There's the link. All right. All right, well, so we'll see if anybody shows up. I maybe should not have just used an old show to start with. Maybe it's not going to get alerted. I don't know. See if anybody shows up, and then we'll have a conversation. I guess I'll go see if there was a video over here from today. Yeah, there's this one.
Every Friday at your website store, it's Free Patch Friday. Each order comes with a free patch, and every once in a while we do pick your own free patch, and that's what we're doing this week. So every order at the Gear website store, you can pick a free patch from this patch panel. If you're a Patreon, pick from the whole table. If you're not a Patreon, pick from the right half of the table. We'll go around and take a look at some of them. Every order is going to get a free patch for the rest of the week. You can pick the free patches during our Daily Gun Show on Friday, or leave a note when you order, maybe your top 3 or 4 picks. And the order that the orders are placed is the order that we'll let people pick. Every $10 is another pick. So if you order $30 worth of stuff, that's 3 picks from the table. $50 is 5 picks, etc. We'd like to incentivize some sales. We'd like to thank the people who keep our projects online with purchases at your website store.
All right, so that's that. And then I guess there was a calendar one from the other day.
Good morning. We're taking a look at guncalendars.com, where we attempt to archive our daily firearms history. And today's the last one for October. It's October 28th. Get the thing scrolling. And we have another anniversary of a birth. This is Elephant Remington. It's probably not how you say it, but I'm not Old English or whatever that name is. So I'm calling him Elephant Remington. And he was born today, October 28th, back in 1783. Remington is one of my favorite dudes doing the research on the Firearms Inventors deck. He's got a pretty cool story. His dad, he went to his dad and said, "I want a rifle." And his dad said, "Yeah, well." So he had to go around his property. They had a farm or whatever, looking for nails and bits of metal. Welded melted all that stuff down and forged it into his own barrel, and then attached that to an action he bought someplace and went somewhere and won an award or almost won some kind of an event. But he definitely won people's attention, and they asked him to build barrels for them. And the rest is history. So a firearms inventor, and one of the first in our country, and it's all kinds of neat guns. Not all of them are his. Remington went on after his death to continue being an ammunition and firearms company for a long, long time. So, however you say Elephant Remington, born today in 1793. Our goal here on guncalendars.com is to keep track of all the different interesting things that have happened in our firearms history. If you know something that we're missing or included.
All right. So that is that one. DJ's out there. Good evening. Yeah, so if anybody shows up, we'll have a conversation tonight. Otherwise, we won't. And it'll be a short show. So aside from the big thing we got going on, attempting to get going over at the gear websites, not much else happening. So I don't bring anything to the show other than the place. We'll see if anybody shows up. Like I say, I don't know if this is a good idea, using a show that's 3 days old, but looks like some people are finding it. Probably could have posted it on Patreon, but I didn't. So, yeah, I don't know how much longer I can keep going. I feel like a truck ran over me, so it's not going to keep going much further if nobody jumps in or does anything. I don't have a lot of air in my lungs here to keep talking. And like I say, I'm out of it, so I don't have anything to talk about either. I just figured I'd start to show up. Good evening.
Good evening. So you're a bit under the weather down there, huh?
No, I was. Now I'm just feeling like coming out of it. Not feeling great, but fine.
Fatigue. Don't like it. Right
Yes.
on.
I don't have a lot of wind to keep talking, but hopefully throwing the link out there. Thanks for jumping in. Hopefully some other people will jump in and join in the conversation. I don't know if there's anything other than the norm going on the last couple of days. Any other gun news?
Nothing terribly outstanding. More clarifications on the ATF hubbub. People seem to be smoothed out and a little bit more relaxed about everything, which is good. That's the only thing that really comes to mind right away. The weather here in eastern Nebraska has definitely taken a turn for the better. We had that dump of snow about a week ago, and it's all gone now. And temperatures tomorrow should be up in the lower 70s again. So after some below freezing temperatures, that's going to be awesome. Halloween. Don't know how Halloween's going to go this year, but I think I'll probably just set some stuff out in baggies, like pre-wrapped pre-made candies in plastic baggies, and leave them out in at the end of the driveway for the kids. And then after the trick-or-treaters, I'm going to be heading over to the other side of the river. A friend of mine in Iowa is having a bonfire, and they are 2A people. So we have our bonfire. We wear our bonfire guns rather than our barbecue guns. And yeah, it's a good time. We made it all of us all the way till dawn, strumming guitars and having a good time. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Couple gun shows on the horizon, and trying to make some plans for my first ever Wanamaker. I have 2 fellas that I do stuff with here around town, and I think what we're going to have to do is rent a van and go 3 up, and they've been the last couple of years at least. They tell me that last November I was kind of lobbying for a minivan rather than an SUV, and I was reminded that last November they drove home in a 5-hour snowstorm, and there is no they, I guess, of the 2 of them. My buddy, only one of them has a driver's license, so he's not used to having the other guy drive him. He's not a very good navigator either, so we'll at least be able to do 2 drivers, and I know I could do that run easily, even in poor weather. In more time, but that's not a big deal. I'm not going to rush and not make it home. So yeah, haven't checked into the Tulsa weather or anything like that. But what's it been like the last couple of years for you, weather-wise and travel conditions?
It's not snow or nothing, but I go south, and it's south from you, so I don't know what it's like going north from there. But there's been snow, but dusting and not even slush, just the kind of snow we get down here. It's snow and then it's melted and gone hours later. So it's nothing that's dangerous or more than interest. It's not like something you have to calculate on or anything. Like I say, I don't have any idea what it's like going north from there. But as far as when you said before that your snow you had cold weather and now it's normal, that's what happened out here. We had like 3 days of cold, like crazy at below normal cold. Got to like frost for 3 days. It'd just been like the hottest year, literally the hottest year ever recorded. And then we had 3 days of frost, and then it's back to like right now it's probably 50 at 9 o'clock or something. So it's going back to, we're headed into normal, nice conditions or whatever you'd call like ideal weather type of stuff. So if that's the case, then when is Tulsa? 2 more weeks? I mean, I can't imagine. I guess it's possible for the weather to go crazy again, but I'm guessing it's fairly mild or whatever this year. According to everything we've heard, they're still having the show. Yeah. You haven't heard anything, I'm guessing, if you're planning on it.
Yeah, I'm set to go. Just need to make those travel arrangements. And I know that you're usually going to be rolling in the van and the like, but what are there any campsites like national or state parks near Tulsa? I'm just not familiar with Tulsa at all.
All right, so I go in the van so that I can stealth camp, and I usually go to my gyms or other places like maybe a Walmart parking lot or others. There's all kinds of strategies, but so that I can park somewhere in town where there's bathroom nearby and nobody's going to bother me, and it's free. So that's the things I'm looking for with the van. Now, it doesn't work if I go to a campground someplace. Because you could camp in a van easily at a campground or whatever, but then you're next to an outhouse if you're lucky, or distance from an outhouse that's far enough away to not smell the outhouse, but be able to get to it when you need to. But it's different than walking into a flush toilet and sinks and everything. So for there, it's really more like camping. Well, wimpy camping, but then sometimes there's almost always a fee to that. So now you're paying $10 to have a outhouse type of bathroom and no sink half the time. That's not true. If you're paying for it, there's usually a sink. But anyway, camping, more rustic for whatever. But then you're also not in the town. You're outside somewhere. So if you get up in the morning and want to get somewhere, you got to give yourself half an hour of commute time. And one of the things I like about stealth camping is I can be in the parking lot of the place I'm going or something. So not only do I get there, for the best parking spot, which at a big giant gun show like Tulsa, it's in a big building. The whole gun show is in one building. The other side of that, the balance of that is that it's a huge parking lot. So people like me that literally sleep overnight in the parking lot get the best spots because we're literally there, before it even opens. So otherwise you got to get there hours early to get a parking spot that's anywhere near, if that matters to you. Otherwise you're walking, and I'm not even shitting you, a mile. Like I've walked a long way when I was first getting there one time, and I got there late one day, and yeah, it's a long way, and it's the state fairgrounds. So if there's anything else going on that competes with parking spaces, now, you might potentially be on the other side of that event's parking spaces. And it's at least a mile by a mile thing. So if you walking a kitty corner across that, that's some distance before you walk into a thing that you're going to walk, I don't know, 7 to 14 miles, to walk the aisles of the thing. So anyway, getting a good parking spot to me is an advantage. Plus, if I buy something like ammo or anything big, having that, well, it allows me to buy something like ammo or anything heavy or big, or like obnoxious, like ammo cans. Let's say there's ammo cans and they're basically giving them away. I might not even buy them most of the time, because how am I going to drag them around or take them out to my car and waste, it might not be a big deal walking, but if it takes you a half an hour to walk to your car and back, do you really want to waste a half an hour of prime showtime? You drove all the way there for showtime. So if you can take an ammo can and sneak it to your car in 5 minutes, that's a super big advantage. So anyway, that's kind of stuff I think about when I camp. So to be honest, I've never even looked for campgrounds around there, but there must be tons. It's Oklahoma, for crying out loud. But maybe I'm just assuming.
Right on. Yeah, I definitely preferred traveling in my van. Haven't had it for 5 or so years, and I would do the same thing as you did. And some of the pictures that I've seen and videos I've seen you post when you've been out traveling, we're very similar in our approaches. You had a much more refined space when it came to organization than I did. Mine came with a bunch of built-ins, but I adapted most of them to my particular uses, which was great. But yeah, not having to pay for a campground, not having to, pay for a hotel room to catch a shower. We've talked about using truck stops for that before, and your idea of using the gym was even better. So yeah, one thing I always wish I had the ability to do, and I just don't have the network of friends, and particularly not in Oklahoma, is just to be able to go to somebody's place and do backyard camping. Like park on the street, drag a tent out back, throw it up, and crawl into it. Don't have to go inside, don't have to bother anybody. I've got like one of those little like pocket portable toilets, and yeah, I mean, I guess I'd rather do that sort of thing and have the energy then to take some of that walking at the front end of the event when it comes to parking spots. But they seriously don't run shuttles. Nobody rents out golf carts and does it themselves. I mean, is it because it's state property that they don't, or do you know? Yeah, so I'm gonna guess they probably wouldn't. You're a lot more stealth. And if we're going to rent a minivan rather than a panel, then I don't know if they. I hope that they have security patrols at least. But I've been to a bunch of music festivals.
I guess. Yeah, I've never seen like a shuttle. There's golf carts, but that's going to be like your vendors that are big enough to need them and know the show, and they bring their own, so it's theirs. And then the maintenance crew, stuff like that, has golf carts, but aside from somebody giving somebody a favor, like an old guy or old lady or something, giving them a ride, I don't think there's any kind of. It's just like, yeah, walk on your own. That might be an opportunity. I have no idea. Maybe the liability. I don't know. Most events have some sort of shuttle, so there must be some kind of insurance for it. But yeah, I would think at some of the big shows, you would think that just for the ammo alone, that would be something that you'd make a couple of bucks on tips. Have 4-H or somebody run it. But no, I haven't seen anything like a shuttle. But I forgot what you were saying about I was unmuting as you were talking about the panel van versus the regular van. So you got like 3 people, 2 of you are driving. I agreed, bringing a real size van versus a minivan. Plus the same thing, like let's say somebody just buys something big. Like, oh, there's this big thing that I never even knew I wanted. But now, I have the room to take it back versus now we have to rent a trailer or something. So having a big van on snow and everything, like a no-brainer. All it's going to do is cost you a little bit more in gas, but who cares? And then if you do want to stop somewhere and sleep, or even if you're driving, somebody could stretch out and back and sleep. You know, it's like possible in a big van. Where in a little van, it's a lot more cramped.
Yeah, I have no idea how big a bankroll and their appetites are going to be once we get down there. I am in econo mode all the time and looking for the best way for me to take advantage of free and cheap. And but speaking of shuttles, I mean, I've even parked in hotel parking lots when there's an event nearby in the van, or driven to them in my vehicle, arriving early morning in town. And when hotels and motels have shuttles for airports or event centers and that kind of stuff, I just jump in. Almost if you come out from the lobby, drivers they don't know, unless you've been a person staying several nights and utilizing that transport. They don't know you. I always tip the drivers. And that sometimes is awkward because I've had them say, put up their hand and say no. And a couple of times there was a language barrier, but I don't feel really great making the drivers responsible for my transportation, but I don't mind if I can score something in that way. If I was refused, service, of course, I'm not going to, try and push it. That's just ridiculous. But
you meant shuttles like to the event, not so much shuttles in the parking lot, but like shuttles to the event.
Well, both. Like what I've done. Yeah,
I think you could make some money probably doing some. Well, I bet you that's what Uber takes up now. Somebody that wants to ride, would just Uber to it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Shuttles, I've taken them also to event centers, like downtown event centers, and like Kansas City, the Sprint Center. There's the same hotel downtown that I go to, and just catch the ride from them. I don't drink or anything, so I don't have to worry about being able to convey myself. But yeah, ditching parking lots and long walks is something that I've been working on for a couple of years now. I do have some physical limitations for locomotion. So yeah, I actually have started. When I decided I was going to go to Wanamaker, and there's one night in Daily Gun Show where you were describing, how many days and how many miles you had walked, and I'm lucky to be able to do 3 or 4 and be okay the next day, or at least able to walk shorter distances. So I've been doing like these core building exercises and stretching out so that I can do that. Do they have like little way stations where you can, pop a squat and just kind of hang out as you're going through? I've never seen any video.
Not really, but at the same time, nobody is there like, requiring you to be on some kind of endurance challenge. So there's definitely just opportunities to set on things that are the right height to set on or whatever, like the footings of the things that hold the roof up or whatever. But because I see people sitting all the time, there must be chairs just sitting around. And then the food court must have chairs, because I can't imagine they make you stand to eat at a place like that. But I don't ever go to the food court, so I can't definitely say that. I know the place where you sign up for stuff has chairs, like if you're a vendor, like where you do your interaction with the promoter, like that area has chairs. So there's maybe not like stations set up, but there's definitely no one's going to make you fall over or, refuse you to be able to sit down if you needed to.
Could you just
and the other thing is, it might seem like a lot that when I walk the whole thing, that's walking the whole thing just to walk it, to see how long it is. When you're just moseying along, you might end up walking 8 miles in a day, but it don't seem like it. I don't know too many people that get really sore. I mean, unless you've literally got issues just standing all day, you're moseying. You're not actually really walking anywhere. So it's almost like you're just standing, but instead of just standing, which can be fatiguing, you're moseying. So, you know what I mean? Like you're not, unless you carried something heavy or like you've really just got issues standing all day, then I don't think too many people complain that like they physically ache, or maybe just nobody's brought it up, but I just don't recall too many people, going, oh, now I'm physically sore the next.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's good to know. That's good stuff to know. And actually, it gives me an idea. Maybe we could do or you could have a segment on Daily Gun Show the Wednesday before Wanamaker, and folks who have been can share their experiences, and us noobs can be a little less new to the ideas there. Because yeah, I
the show. Those people aren't up; they don't listen to this show. So we need to do something during the day for the people that go to Wanamaker, but they'd be happy to help you because there's a ton of them, and with the variety of people that have gone, it would be an interesting thing to listen to because there'd be such a cross section of physical and situational, all the different things. I mean, everybody's different. So, like, what's his face? About to go to surgery one time, and what's his face? Like, had to do the same kind of thing. Like, he was working out in order to be able to do it, and pretty much. And I don't know, Woods was around to see some of this. Like, I'm trying to think of all the different people that had physical issues that would be concerned about going to the show. And now that I'm thinking about it more, I don't remember anybody saying like, oh, I got so wiped out, I'm never doing it again, or that's prohibiting me from doing it anymore. In fact, it was the opposite. Like, oh, I was so concerned, and it turned out to be nowhere near as bad as I thought. That seems to be the responses there were.
I remember a couple of people saying that, like, when they got back home, they, were a little sore because it was a lot more activity than they did, but nothing that was debilitating.
Yeah, I don't want to downplay it. I didn't hear that, but yeah, that's the thing, because that's the kind of feedback you'd want to hear too. Because it could be the other way, where it doesn't seem like a lot, so you end up overstressing yourself, I guess. But I might not have chats where they're comfortable saying that either. I'm in the fast and high speed chats, from the youth. Like, I'd never go into that old fashioned hangouts where they talk about their ailments and stuff.
Well, I actually did have a contingency plan. I found a local pharmacy and healthcare place that will rent, off lease things like walkers and wheelchairs and etc. And I have my eye on a $10 monthly rental for a 4-point cane that has a little spring assisted seat that will pop up. It's no bigger. It's like a kind of a large index card or something like that. But I mean, it'd be enough to at least get one cheek on. And I don't know. I don't want to be burdened with it if I'm not going to use it, but maybe have that for second day. And and my plan is to be there for four event days.
So you can be there for Sunday, you can be there for Saturday, unless you're setting up. They don't let you go in Friday, and only certain people are allowed to even show up on Thursday. Those are of the people that have vendors, like, they have a special group of vendors that can show up on Thursday, and then all the rest of the vendors show up on Friday, because it's like 2,600 tables or something. So it kind of needs to be 2 days, but there's like there's a hierarchy for that. In both of those 2 days, unless you got a vendor pass, then they literally will get you out of there. They don't want you around because there's so much commotion at the doors with the vendors trying to get, jockey for position to get in, that they don't want anybody else around doing anything else. And then, like I say, Saturday and Sunday you can be there, but then it's done by Sunday. A lot of people leave early on Sunday, so it gets closed up and over by Sunday night. I can't imagine on Monday there's much else than tables being removed. So just FYI.
Got it. I follow. Yeah, I'm sort of used. I'm used to trying to side mouse just about anything that I can within reason. And my other driver on this adventure, his boss owns a couple of gun shops, and apparently he's going to be setting up with some business partner of his. And
and then you do have 4 days to actually experience the show, and then it's much more consumable because now you can get in there and see everything in increments. As the first day, you're going to only see certain stuff because only certain stuff is set up, but now you can see it. Second day, you've already seen the first day stuff, so all you got to do is concentrate on that second day stuff. So now you've seen a lot of it already, before it even opens. And now if there is anything else to look at, it's probably the individuals and garage sale stuff, and not the anybody who's doing it for a living, or shops and stuff. So yeah, it's much different, much different when you're looking at it. And when you have your own table, then you always have a place. I mean, you might be opposite end of the place. If your table's somewhere in the middle, it's a bonus, but you've always got your own table to go sit back at. And most places, if you're helping, then they only want you there when they want to go walk around. Like, otherwise you're kind of in the way. Now you're taking up space in the back, and unless they're rocking and rolling, they don't need you to get out of here. Like, go walk around. It's better for them if you're walking around. So that's really the best of all worlds, is to be the helper at somebody else's table at Wanamaker.
Yeah, that's sort of what I'm hoping for. And yeah, and all my other gun show experiences, of course, are considerably smaller. And yeah, being able to just see people parade stuff as they're doing load-ins and setups and stuff like that. And I used to do merchandising displays related to a couple of different positions that I had setting up. And helping people out with the nearby tables and whatnot. I enjoy that time. The camaraderie and the relationships that become established are incredible. But yeah, doing vendor relief, that's something. There's a summer arts festival, a long weekend here in Omaha, and I've been volunteering there since year 2, like in the late '80s. And that's always great. And I get some of, you meet the greatest people, most, really inspiring folks with their creativity and all the different mediums that they use. And they all are so grateful because of the summer heat and the fact that we're, in the concrete jungle, that I've had several of them bless me with pieces of their own work. I'm not talking like, huge oil canvases or anything like that, but, jewelry makers. Hey, is there something here in the $10, case that you would like? Man, it's just great. And yeah, helping is always a good way to get to know people. Just offer a hand.
Now, if you're going with people who are setting up, then I wouldn't think camping and all that's an issue. If they have it in their budget to get you hotel rooms and stuff.
Oh no, it's not. We wouldn't be there as general labor, just in the general sense that we would be assisting in some way. I think it's relatively clear that his boss is kind of treating him to even be associated with this other business that he is doing with this guy at Wanamaker, as kind of a bonus for the new guy who's just been kicking ass and taking names in his shop in Southwest Iowa. He blew through. Oh my! They got some order in from. Who was it last week? I don't even remember. He had to log in, log out to customers who were waiting, and local deliveries and shipping of like 300 something, or not 330 something rifles, and that how the paperwork is for that stuff. It doesn't go that quick. You have to be as complete as possible, and folks were coming and going with little social distancing, but he's just been kicking ass. So I think his boss is just throwing him a bone.
So he's like, you can go, but you're not getting paid.
Yeah. I'm sure that if any admission is going to be handled, but yeah, no offers of hotel rooms or anything like that. And both of the guys I'll be rolling down with, neither one of them are really overnight people, and I am. So I don't even really need a room. I just need a place to crash eventually, and I don't know that I'm going to be able to reverse my sleep schedule in just 24 hours. I'll probably just go to exhaustion on Saturday night.
Wait, what are you saying? When they're going to stay up all night, is what you're saying?
No, that's me. They're asleep when I'm up, as it is now, and because I'll have to be up early for the show, I won't have a full night's rest. Plus the commute down there. That's a straight shot with no sleep. So Yeah, I'll just be under rested and overtired probably. So that's why I'm just going to kind of burn out probably by Saturday night and laze my way back in and try to back clean up on people who don't want to pack stuff up to take it home and maybe score some goodies or something like that. It's workable.
So you're going to be super tired at a gun show. It sounds terrible.
Not unenthusiastic, however. That might be get me that extra mile or 4.
I think you're going to get a couple second wins in there.
Yeah, you'll be fine. And then you just sleep on the way home. That's the thing. The whole trip back to sleep.
Are you driving?
Yeah, I'll be tandem driving with a buddy of mine, so it won't be a big deal. I could spend that time in the seat, no worries. He could too. It's just that the third guy is kind of the third wheel in the fact that he cannot take the wheel, no driver's license. So he's always racking out on those long rides, and it pisses off my other buddy because he's not sharing any responsibilities up to and including navigation.
I don't care about, as long as the other person is awake to keep you awake, then I don't care who's driving most of the time. But 3 people, no problem. And then that third person is there to keep lets one of you sleep, one of the drivers sleep while the other one's doing stuff, driving. So you're saying they are going to be down with going to campgrounds?
Not one of them won't be. The other one possibly. As a matter of thrift, I think, as long as the weather is conducive, he'll be cool with crashing with me at some campsite. So, and then the thing is, since the other guy's going to be getting into a hotel or a motel room, we're going to need to provide his transport. So we'll, maybe come from somewhere else, go up to his room, shower, shave, shit, shine, hit the fucking road, and kaboom, we're done. I hope.
You're set, yeah. So you're basically coming from the Omaha area?
Yeah.
And then you're going to go through Topeka or through Kansas City? Take that big highway and go to Kansas City?
Yeah, I'm going to take Interstate 29 into KC. My dad lives down there now, and my favorite barbecue in the United States is in Kansas City, so going to do that. And then just bust.
This is a toll.
Yeah, that isn't. Yeah, I don't worry about those so much. They're not expensive here. It's not like Chicago or East Coast tolls. They're really reasonable, like $1 for just miles and miles. 30, 80 miles. It's nothing.
And then, so then you'll be right there.
So you got a little a scale at the bottom of that screen somewhere that says how many miles that's going to be? I've only been to Atoka, Oklahoma, and through Oklahoma on the way down to Houston. So I don't have a lot of Oklahoma experience. I didn't dig it.
It looks like it's going to be 7 hours. I think nothing.
That's nothing. Yeah. I didn't know they were in the 8-hour circle. See, Omaha is a great place.
That's going through Topeka. So now if we drag it over to here, it's 7 hours. Was that
straight? No, that's awesome because I didn't know they were in my 8-hour circle. I can hit Minneapolis, Chicago, St. Louis, Denver, Winnipeg, and places down on the diagonal towards you that I haven't been yet, at least from that way. Yeah, I can hit all those metropolises. It's great. Summer concerts and stuff like that. I'm always on the road on the weekends.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I definitely don't have that. I get San Diego, LA, Phoenix, and Las Vegas. Albuquerque. That's it. You got Portland and Seattle. You go to Vancouver?
I used to.
I lived off of a little island just off the northeast tip of Vancouver Island called Malcolm Island. It's in the in between the two masses, the island and the landmass of North America. That's beautiful, man. Beautiful. Temperate rainforest is just some of the best. I mean, that's like one of the greatest ecosystems I've ever been in. The temperate rainforest. It just rocks.
Amen.
Here, down in here,
No, go north.
into
There's
Canada.
Vancouver. Yeah. Now diagonal up, go up northwest. Keep going up the island until you get the end of it in sight of the main island. Okay. Now, see, there's a little one in that. Okay, there's the ocean goes in. It looks like Florida. Yeah, right. Oh, okay. That's Malcolm Island.
Where?
That or it's back in the channel a little bit to the southeast. Yeah, it's either that one or the other one.
Yeah, it's in the channel, right? It's right
Yeah.
there.
Channel Islands. Yep.
Yeah.
It's north of Denman Island. Denman Island was a really popular spot for draft dodgers, and so half of it is Americans that have been living there since the late '60s, early '70s.
There's cruises that go up this channel, aren't there?
Oh yeah.
That's so crazy.
The
Yeah.
Intercoast. Yep, Intercoast. Totally.
Yeah, I
This is
spent
awesome.
time over here in Tofino one time. Well, not time.
Oh
but I went
yeah.
up to that area before.
Yeah, it's great over there too. That the west side of Vancouver Island is, it's so much more untamed. And I mean, you've been there, so there are like two ways to go if you're in a wheeled vehicle. It's just you don't have a lot of options.
But then once you get to here, the place I was going was you had to get there by water. So this was the last place you could go with the wheels, and then everything else was water. And there's a lot of
Yep.
stuff going on up here. There's nothing. This whole area is like being used. Just you have to get there by boat.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's-
I think ferry transportation is incredible too. I mean, I didn't have a lot of experience with it obviously beforehand because I'm here in the dead flats of the Midwest, but I a little bit spooky because if the thing that resounds most soundly with my my Cro-Magnon ancestors is if I get far enough out from shore, I realize instantly that I cannot overcome the force beneath me and I would not survive. And so I actually become frightened. And eating that fear was something that I accomplished by the time I made it back down through because I took the ferry 2-3 days a week just between Main Island and Malcolm Island. It was 10 minutes. So that was great.
I remember that. Patriots talking about the Queen Elizabeth. Remember that? The 90s?
Yeah, the QE2.
we
The
took
Clipper. Took the
we
Clipper.
took a boat from Seattle area up to Victoria, but
Yep.
it wasn't Queen Elizabeth. It was more like a 2-story paddle boat looking thing like you see in the movies that looked like a ferry. It wasn't a paddle boat, but, it was like a 2-story flat, looked like it'd get knocked over in a storm type of ferry boat where there's a bunch of cars and people.
Well, I used to take a ferry from Port Angeles, which is about halfway through that top part in the Strait of Juan de Fuca there, and it's just a straight shot over. But that was in the late 80s, early 90s. The drinking
Wait,
age.
so are you over in?
I'm in Seattle.
Oh, okay,
I'm
right.
now, but I've lived in Washington my whole life, so I've been all. And then when I was a kid, the drinking age in Canada was 19. We could do the math; it's not that far.
Exactly. And when I was driving around up there, I don't know if there was a drinking age, and I guess there was, but yeah, they didn't care. So that was interesting. I didn't even think about it because I don't drink that, often. But whenever I was up there, I was like, oh crap, I can order drinks like a real person. But maybe we did go from up here now that I'm thinking about it. I really don't remember. It was a long time ago, but is that more common to go drive? Like we drove to a person's house who lived somewhere in Seattle area. And then we were going to Victoria. So we left our car with them and then they dropped us off at a shuttle a ferry. Would they have taken us to like here because it would have been a quicker ferry, or would they have dropped us off here? I just don't remember how long. It seemed like it was a long time, but I have no idea the scale. Like this would probably be a long time also, right?
Well, yeah, the ones out of Seattle generally weren't car ferries. The other one was if you want to take your car up there with you.
Oh, okay. So it was probably from up here then. if it was a car ferry.
But Washington's got all kinds of ferries. We got ferries going all over that thing.
Okay. I do remember going past a bunch of islands, but I suspect any of these you're going to seem like you're going past, because this might seem like islands if you don't know they're just bays or whatever.
I've got a friend of mine. He works in downtown Seattle. He takes a ferry from downtown Tacoma every single day.
Oh, just instead of driving, you mean?
Yeah.
Is that faster, or he just likes it better?
Well, I mean, you're driving through Tacoma and Seattle, so you're looking at, an hour and a half of traffic or an hour boat ride.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I would do that.
And you get to be on a boat, so it's like a win-win for him.
I imagine every time you're up here, it feels like war games. Just going around and doing stuff, you feel like you're living war games.
Well, the one thing I love about Washington and Vancouver Island's the same way, is that temperate rainforest that he's talking about. It's a cool place, but know that it can rain anytime. I don't care if it's super sunny when you're driving up there. You get there and it's pouring rain. It's a rainforest.
Yeah, it's been my birthday one year there at the second breakwater in my Lakers shorts and a t-shirt with my big old American Bulldog Hank, and we just hung out and bullshitted with people and ate crab and boiled shrimp and had just a great old time. The community's really small, incredibly well, tight. And I grew up in a small town, so I related almost immediately. And I wasn't really considered an interloper because I just blended as much as possible. Went and opened a bank account, started a charge account at the grocery store, found a place to rent. I just integrated in the community and did as much as I could do to help folks out. So it was great. I still have friends there.
Right. Well, even though we only talk guns, we've gotten a little way off of guns there. Got a bunch of people watching and saying stuff, but they're mostly saying hey to each other. We usually get a room for that, but we could talk about guns in here. So if we got gun topics, throw them out there. There's 2 people in here to talk to, and then me. So I was sick, and Nurse Puppy usually just sits here and watches me be sick or whatever, because she can't do nothing about it. And then yesterday, I came out here, I guess. I don't remember everything that happens when I'm sick, so I must have come out here and got water, and then didn't turn off my water all the way. So she was bugging me, and that's not like her or whatever. I was coming out of it, and she was bugging me. And I finally came out here and figured out what she was bugging me about. I left the water going, and it doesn't drain good, so basically the kitchen was flooded the whole kitchen like an inch deep, and then that goes under the walls into the other rooms and stuff. So it was a lot of fun.
Oh man,
getting sick to having a flooded place. Luckily it turned hot here. It was only cold for like 3 days, so I just turned all the doors open and have fans going. I turned them down for this show, but even right now it's like 50 outside, so I just have the fans going still, so it's about 70% evaporated. I had a thing that the sink goes into. It's like a bucket, and it was full, obviously, and it overflowed. But just the fans running, it evaporated like an inch out of a bucket in like 6 hours. It's pretty dry here.
So do you have hard surface floors then?
Oh, I just have concrete. There used to be tile and shit, but that all got ate up and ripped out years ago. So it's basically just concrete here.
Definitely helps out to have that in a flood, Judas.
Well, because there's other floods that killed everything that had been there. But yeah, I ripped the carpet out as soon as I moved in. I bought a place that was shitty to begin with, and then I just ripped the carpets out. So most of the rooms were just concrete anyway. And then a couple of when you rip the carpet out, there was like the old tile. And then I left that, but it fell out it fell apart and different things that have happened or whatever, as the tile gets gross or whatever, I just scrape it up and throw it away. So basically everything's just concrete now.
Clover was asking about that DJ was going to Wanamaker, so I tried to convince him to jump in here and give you advice. We'll see if he does.
Depends on how much of a 2A he is.
We'll try to see if we can use friendly neighborhood guilt, a little peer pressure. Peer pressure is not always bad. So, G, are you going or?
Probably not. I would like to for sure, but I don't have enough money to do nothing really.
I'm with you, man.
I would need to give it a tune-up for sure. Probably, and when I say tune-up, like I need to get the spark plugs changed. I've never changed the spark plugs on that van because, like, some vans are not like this, but this van is like this. The two spark plugs that are like on the passenger side, closest to the front of the van, you need to basically take off the front wheel and then figure out how to get double jointed or triple jointed wrists to get up in there. And it's probably not too bad if you have the right kind of goofy articulated wrench or something, which I don't know what I need to buy. Otherwise I would have bought it and it might not be so bad. But, you know, it's the kind of thing we're only going to get a 16th of a turn every time. So that's one of them things where if I watch the guy, I'm sure if I can take it to a place where they let me watch, I'll figure it out and never need to go to a place again. But I don't want to get to where I take the spark plug out and can't get it back in or some other version of screwing it up. And I also I just want to see a good tune-up done by somebody who knows what to look for on one of them vans, because as strong as it is, but anyway, so I need to get it a good tune-up and the spark plugs changed, and that's going to cost something because, like I said, I just don't want to do that myself. And then I think it cost me $500 to get there in gas, if I remember right, and then the days of doing it or whatever. And I already asked around. I don't know anybody in Tucson that's going this year, or this show, so I can't like tag a ride with anybody or anything like that. So as much as I'd like to, I just don't think it's going to happen.
Hey, Clover.
What's up?
Oh, and then the other thing is the gym. So I was about to cancel my gym membership, but they said that the gyms are still open, so I kept my membership. It only cost me $20, and I figure if the gyms are open, that makes Tulsa doable because there's enough of my gyms in Tulsa that I can basically drive there for just gas. If I don't have gyms, then I'm in the same boat as everybody. I'm either looking for a shower somewhere or doing the $10 a night, I think is what they call them, $10 a shower at the truck stops or something like that. And that starts to add up, if you want to take a shower every day.
DJ, you need advice about whether there was places to walk around. Maybe Clover could give you an answer on that.
Yeah, Clover, I'm a Wanamaker virgin, and I've it's not severe or anything, but I have some mobility issues, and I was kind of only half joking, because I have found out that I can rent a 4-point cane that has a walker cane that has a little pop-up seat on it. Because I was concerned about not having a place to sit down. But G said, though he doesn't go to the food court, he was pretty sure there'd be seating there, and there were, like pilasters or something for the pilings for the roof supports and stuff inside that you can kind of sit down at. So can you tell me a little bit more about available seating and
we've
things?
We've got a table, so you'll always have potentially a seat there. I'm sure somebody would get up and let you sit down. I mean, if you
well, bless you.
You know what I mean? So that's probably not going to be an issue. Or if you've got a chair, if you've got a, what am I thinking? Like a lawn chair, you know what I mean?
Folding chair?
Yeah,
sure.
Or like one of those
camping chair, whatever.
Yeah, camping chairs now.
Yeah. But there should be chairs there. It shouldn't be a problem. So I mean, there's that. But yeah, there's stuff along the walls. The only thing is that place is huge, absolutely freaking massive. So I wouldn't, I'm hesitant to say that you'll be okay, because if you're like in the middle of something, and especially if it's crowded or whatever, and you've got to sit down, you've got to do something. I guess you could always lean on a table or do something, you know what I mean? Something for a second. But having something,
I've never seen anybody at a gun show where somebody's like, I'm feeling dizzy. Can I sit down? Like, you're going to get so many chairs whipped at you so fast.
Probably. Yeah.
I mean, I've only ever seen people fall like as they're walking, never because they were like in need for a table or a chair. And then WP saying that they do have tables by the food places.
Mhm.
He's been there.
But there's tons of people, and who knows if there'll be a seat. But somebody, like I said, if you are somebody that needs a place and you can tell that you need a place, then they'll probably get up.
You notice this? When I type in Wanamaker's, I don't know if it's because of this big ass S or what. Let me get rid of that big ass S. I type in Wanamaker's Arm Show.
Uh-huh.
That's it. And I'm going through here.
Uh-huh.
Boom, 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 boom,
Uh-huh.
boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
Boom,
I own
boom.
it. You didn't know that?
Wait, what's happening with the booms? I can't see.
Oh, Clover somehow weaseled his way into having like just about 60% of all the pictures that show up on Duck.
Nice job.
Go, boy.
That's my show, man. That's my jam. There's a ghost. Ghost got one. I see a ghost in there.
Attaboy, Fud Life.
Yep. There's a giz. I see a gizzard. I see two gizzards.
Yep.
So yeah, our stuff shows up. You better believe it. We go to work, baby. At least one day.
So it's going to be all good if I want to pack a 4-sleeve cooler and a light backpack with a couple of snacks, and those. It's for soda woods, but I'm not going to walk and drink and walk. But no, I mean it's cool for me to bring in outside stuff in my backpack, right?
No. Food?
Oh no, yeah, food.
Well, if you walk in going, I'm bringing a bunch of outside food in, they're going to go, no. If you walk in and don't see nothing, they don't search your backpack. If you were to go
Okay.
up to the food court and be like, can I borrow your ketchup for my meatloaf sandwich I brought from home? Like that might be a problem. But if you just eat behind your table, I don't think they care.
So what you should do is you should get with us once you're there, and you should enter through the side door. We can get you a pass and make that happen. And you can go in and out the side door. You don't got to go all the way out the front. And you can pretty much bring in whatever the heck you want.
And as long as you're not like setting up a buffet, like don't bother with the food court because we've got food here. Like then they
Well,
don't care.
They don't, especially the vendor door. They don't care. Vendors go and get their lunch and stuff somewhere else all the time.
No, they would complain if they made a big thing about it, but yeah, nobody's like out to get you. It's just if you're trying to compete with them or screw with them, then they're gonna take the opportunity to mess with you.
Oh, I see a
Right on.
Obnoxious in there. See some more gizzard.
That is good to know because my soda addiction is strong, and if I can't find a cold Diet Dr. Pepper when I need it, I forget about everything else to the expense of safety. I just have to seek it. So, yeah, I'm hoping I have a couple of insulated tube coolers that are just big enough to stick a 12 ounce cans into. So I can wear one of them as a bandolier, put some pin backs and maybe sew on a couple of patch panels.
Well, what I do is we always carry the cooler, and then I just take a few in my backpack or something, and I'll go out and get more or whatever. So somebody could always run out and get something for you if you needed to.
Right on. It's wonderful to have you make that kind of offer. I will probably take you up on some of it.
Are
So I know.
you guys easy to find when he gets there?
Do what now?
Are you guys easy to find when he gets there? I mean, it's a massive place. I don't want to.
I have no idea where our table's at, so it's just a matter of getting in touch, passing out phone numbers, whatever we've got to do to keep in touch.
Right on. So that's another thing that I wanted to know. For do they send you out your table assignments in advance?
No.
Regular people,
wow.
we get like the
Leftover, basically.
well, here's like what didn't get sold, and here's what you can have. But yeah, we don't. They don't put us, I'm sure, in like a priority list or nothing, but
Mm.
Right.
I don't know if it's I don't think everybody gets their table. I'm sure like the people that have a table that know they have their table, they know. And then I'm sure people that have been requesting one and finally get upped, you know, they probably know. So anybody that you can buy your table for the next show at
Yeah.
the show, right? So those people probably know, but I'm sure there's people that are like, I want a table. Like I know this because I bought a table before. If you just called them like this week or last week and said, I want a table, they're going to go, okay, we got like 100 left. So here's one. You don't know where that is. They might tell you it's upstairs, but when you get there, you figure out where it is.
Got it. That's yeah. This is sounding more and more like just the most grand example of a bunch of the other gun shows where I've been both a vendor and an attendee.
It will ruin you forever. It will ruin you forever on a local gun show. You'll walk
Well,
into your local gun show. It's my local gun show. I don't know how many tables. It's pretty big. I would say probably 300 tables, something like that. And I mean, it's nothing. When I walk in it, it's pitiful looking now.
Well, I'm actually particularly fond of some of my central and west Nebraska hotspots that everybody will pile in from a 3-county area, and there will be maybe 30 tables. But there are a whole lot of people hanging out, and they do like to be able to run home and bring stuff back to the show. So not a lot of people walking around with stuff actively for sale, but they'll come up and talk to you and see if they might be able to work out a trade. So I love the little town shows. There's just something that's absolutely adorable about them. Plus all the old dudes, all these guys that are in their, 80s and 90s even, that are still at their tables, and all you got to do is speak up so they can hear you. And those guys just, wow, incredible stuff. And I've gotten some pretty rare pieces and parts just by hanging out and saying hello. So good stuff.
Yeah, Tulsa's got that. A lot of old timers, a lot of knowledge there for sure.
There's so many people there. I've seen all kinds of different situations and different type of people running tables. And then for a couple of times there, when we went around trying to actively promote the show and get as much coverage, I guess, or whatever, I was like actively talking to different people, like people that had tables of stuff that I might not have been interested in, but like represented a different, like another realm of what all was encompassed there. Just talking to these different people, like everybody from super focused and got their stuff down and some kind of a process to just the opposite, and everything in between. Really neat show. But I would say, even though its scale is massive, it is the largest show. It is just a massive version of a local gun show. It isn't like a different thing or like some kind of a weird system, that lets it get so big. It's just somehow they managed to do just the crazy chaos of a regular show that big. The only thing different than a regular show is somehow they're able to keep all guns. Like they have, of all the gun shows I've ever been to, it is one of the most that's no beef jerky, no. I mean, even though we bought remote controlled airplanes, so very few like remote controlled airplanes or silverware or any of that weird stuff. It is almost 99% just guns, even if it's the weirdest obscure gun thing, or stuff that's just off, like first aid and backpacks is not weird, but remote controlled cars and incense and stuff is getting to be where they're just desperate for a table. They don't have that, so they don't have any of that. They're not desperate for tables, so they don't have hardly any of that other stuff. In fact, you got to pay way more to have beef jerky in there. You got to pay twice as much or something for a table to have beef jerky in there.
It's twice as much, for non-firearm, whatever.
And that part, other than that though, it's just like everything about a regular show just bigger, which is neat. And I don't know, I don't get burned out going the other way. I mean, because little shows are in different places, like a little show in Oklahoma, in Tulsa, I would probably not bother with, right? Like why? I guess I would if I was there, but that's the only show I think I would be, because a little show in Nebraska is going to be different than a little show in Tucson. It's going to be different than a little show in New York, because of the people that are showing up are going to have their, whatever's in their closets, and that's going to always going to be different, but it's going to be regional too.
the one show that whenever it comes around, and occasionally you get one like twice a year around here, is held in a VFW hall. There might be 50 tables, maybe. And I've probably bought more stuff at that show than any other of the shows I went to combined.
Yeah,
quite
me too.
honestly.
I bought more at the tiny shows because there's better deals and the neatest stuff, and there's maybe more urgency to sell, but probably just because it's people that aren't unrealistic. Like, I just want to get rid of this thing that I paid $50 for, even if it is worth 500 somewhere. I'm happy to get rid of it for $3. So you're super happy because you got it at a deal. They're super happy because they sold it to somebody who showed up at their little gun show.
Yep.
And it depends a lot on what you're into, right? Because I mean, everybody knows I'm into a lot of.
If you're looking for the brand new Glock, you're never going to find it at that show. If you're looking for an accessory that no one can find,
if you're looking for the Revelation Model 139 that was sold by Western Auto back in the day, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you probably going to find it there.
Yeah, that's one advantage I think that we have here in those rural shows is it's like long guns and old guns, and that is some of the best stuff. I don't know if I'll ever see again. And they've just got it laid out like cordwood on those banquet tables. It's such a good time.
DJ, is there something you're looking for specifically when you get there, or like gun parts or a particular gun you're looking for?
Man, my list is pages long, but as I indicated earlier, I'm there, on thrift set to maximum. So, I mean, there are a couple of, I might call in a card to play on something over $1,000, but I don't even really want to spend that right now. So, as far as, outside of ammo, which I'm just not going to do that either. A reasonably priced, and that's just almost impossible this year, but hopefully maybe a lever in 4570 that needs some work or is just crusty. It'd be my second lever gun, and I am over fond of 4570 right now, and I've got about 600 pieces of brass, so I'm ready to go. That or 44 mag.
Well, I'm on a search again for the Marlin Crown Prince. So I seen one last show, which wasn't. It's a single shot Marlin. That's 22. That's easily identifiable. Really, it's got a cocking ring on the back of the bolt. So it's actually a loop,
like that Swiss gun.
kind of.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, it is a circular pole.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, it's a bolt, but it's got the circle, on the back.
It's also got a bolt, or that is the bolt?
It is a bolt handle. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's intriguing. G, can you pull that up with a web search?
Well, it's how you cock it.
Yeah. Because I have a Glenfield 22 single shot that's I can't remember what the model number would be on it, but it has the kind where it's a pole to cock, but it's not a ring.
Right.
It's a knurled knob.
A knurled knob. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, are we talking about the same basic thing? Then?
The Crown Prince has a loop.
Oh, okay, got it. Right on. That sounds pretty damn cool.
Or the 101. The 101 does anyway.
Got it.
Yep.
So you only seen one at the whole show last time?
Yeah, I seen one, and I didn't buy it right then and there. And I went back the next day where I thought it was, but of course I lost track because the show's huge. And I walked it was on the lower floor. I walked at it and I went to there and I didn't see it. And I'm like, I'm almost positive it was here. And so I walked that entire lower floor. I ended up buying something else in the process, but walked the entire lower floor. I'd never seen it. But, Jesus, odds are it was, you know what I'm saying? It was sold. There's no telling how many guns get sold at that show, right? It'd be interesting to know how many guns they sell a minute.
Usually, a minute? Yeah, I don't know. But in the whole show over the weekend, dozens of guns.
Yeah, right. Well, I bought 2 that weekend myself, so yeah. I don't even remember exactly what now, but
I was just going to ask if you remembered.
yeah, I don't even remember, dude. I don't remember. Single shot, 22 of some kind. It was kind of rare, and I can't remember what.
Shocked. You bought a 22.
And an infield. I bought an infield. Bought a number 4 for Zachary. That was super nice. Paid for it with PayPal. That was interesting.
Oh, you mean somebody was taking PayPal there? I think I had this thing up on my screen.
No, I didn't have any money, so I didn't have any cash, right? But I had some PayPal because I'd bought that rifle earlier, so I didn't have enough cash, and he had lowered the price from the day before because I'd looked at it the day before. I looked at it on Saturday, and he lowered the price, and it was a younger guy, and I said, "Hey, what do you think if I PayPal'd you the friends and family thing, you know?" And I'm like, "Can we do that?" He's like, "Sure, yeah." I'm like, "We'll do it right here, right now." He's like, "Okay, works for me."
Oh, okay. So it's not like he had a card or nothing.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
if
No.
you just did the PayPal in front of him, showed him your phone, he's seen it, and he's like, okay, good to go.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, I sent it. He checked his email, and I walked away with the rifle. You know, yeah. That is it.
It says promotional, so it was only limited run.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Fairly hard to find.
Now it costs $7 a month to use Arms List to even look at it.
That blows.
And
Wow.
$7 a month is not inexpensive. Now, if that's just to sell, I can understand that. Like you need to have, because they're not as big as Gunbroker, so they would need. I could see them needing a little extra to keep going. But to say, hey, $7 just to use it, like to read it or to bid, that would be excessive.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're already getting a cut of the. Or wait, do they not get a cut of the auctions? Is it one of those? I don't know their strategy or their system or whatever.
I honestly don't know with Arms List either.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Arms List is a subscription service now. I think they just started that this week. It's either $3 or $6 a month. 3 if you do it on credit card, 6 if you send them a check. And I don't know if there's a per listing fee on top of that. I only have one friend that really utilizes Arms List as a seller, so I don't know that end at all, and I haven't even bothered to log on yet to find out.
Sellers though, or is that for anybody that wants to even bid?
I don't know.
Okay, so I've been to places where just to bid, you got to put in like a $50 whatever, and that's lame.
Or like a buyer's premium type thing.
Yeah, just to bid. So you're basically paying $50 even if you lose.
Right.
So if they're going to do it like that, like you got to pay whatever $7, and then you don't even win the auction, and now you're just out $7. That's going to be a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people. I don't think they're going to make money in the long run doing that.
Right.
Maybe I'm just crazy. That seems like not the best way to do it.
Right.
I could see if you win, you got to pay $7 extra. Like I say, that's a lump, but at least you understand you got to keep the system working and you're participating in it. But I don't know.
Yep.
Let's see. What's Patriot talking about? Isn't it because the stuff that was going on in Wisconsin for legal reasons? Like you got to be in the club. I could see that too, but then you make it $2. You make it enough to cover your fees. That's what I was saying. $7 a month. That's making money. Maybe it costs you $2 or $3 a month to cover fees, and $7 is paying for a staff already. I'm guessing, crew to run the place.
Mm-hmm.
I just sold a Smith on Arms List a couple of days before they changed it. All right. Well, so we've been going for an hour 15. To post or reply to sellers. Okay, so if it's just to post, then that makes sense. They're charging the people that are using it to make money. And I can understand even if you post and you don't sell, I mean, you're still using their system. So I could almost tell there. Of course, it would be better if it was like $6 if it doesn't sell and $12 if it does, or something like that. But I mean, these things aren't free, especially bandwidth. It's classified. Oh, so it's not like bids, but still, in order to participate. But I guess, yeah, if it's a classified and you're participating, then you are cinching the deal. So it's not like you charging bidders, I guess, then. So that's smart. So the other thing he was talking about, DJ was talking about getting there and looking for campgrounds and stuff. And we kind of looked for like cabins or something, or like a dude ranch type of thing one time, and that was all like pretty far away from the center of town. So I would, just from looking at campgrounds on the list or on the map before, I think that's what you're going to encounter too, is that the campgrounds are not anywhere near. Tulsa's a pretty big city, so there's not a lot of like campgrounds in the town, and probably none. So you'd have to probably drive a good half an hour or more to get in from a campground.
From having been on tours, Fish and other bands where I go like the entire Midwest swing, I'm used to that arrangement. It's just been a while since I've done that many in a row. But like Deer Creek and Alpine Valley, these outdoor venues just are immense. So I'm used to crawling around there. So if they don't have table assignments for everybody, I take it that they don't furnish a vendor's map for attendees.
There will be. No, wait, is there? No, there is a handout that you'll get or you can pick up, and it'll have a list of all of them, and it'll have a bunch of table numbers. So yeah, they must have most of the majority of them ahead of time to make that thing. That's that show, yeah.
Yeah, so like all the legacy tables, they know where they're going to be, and all the early registrants, they know where they're going to be, and then everybody else is fit in where to get in. Got it. That's awesome. That'll help. There's a bit like
ever counted. They probably don't have every single vendor in there, but they definitely have, like you say, all the ones that you just mentioned will all be in the list, and then you'll have like I think you even get their contact number, right? Like their phone number and stuff. I don't know, but they do a pretty nice publication, basically a magazine for the event, each event.
Yeah, it is. I don't know if I don't have one handy. Dang it. I know where one's at, but it's not handy. I don't know if they have I don't know if they have their phone number and all or not for the individual table, but I know there's all kind of ads and articles and other thing in there too.
That's the thing, yeah. It's a map, and it is an index of most of the vendors, but it's mostly a way to facilitate a shit ton of advertising. It's a lot of ads. Deer Creek is that Deer Creek in Ohio that you went to? I think there's a lot of Deer Creeks. He doesn't like answering questions like that, so he jumped out of here.
Who's out?
He's got that Nebraska internets.
Well, thanks for helping him, Clover. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Glad somebody else is going,
Well, Ghost said he's going to be there for a day.
He said he was going to try.
To set up at the Oklahoma something table. Put in here.
Yeah.
Setting up at a table on Sunday.
Deer Creek, Indiana.
At the OK2A booth on Sunday, and he'll be there Saturday walking around. Nice. And then
I'm sorry, I had to jump back in. Who are you talking about now?
No, that's what Pink was asking you about which Deer Creek. I was saying there's probably a bunch of Deer Creeks now that I think about it. I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the name of the venue itself. What city it's next to, I don't know. Like Alpine Valley is, in Wisconsin, and it's the nearest small town is its mailing address. Tinley Park, Illinois. I can't remember where it was in Columbus. I usually didn't go past Ohio to the east.
All right, now we're about 1:20 in. Any other fun topics, things to chat about? Oh yeah, he was talking about venues though for concerts though. I've never heard of a concert in Tulsa. Have you ever heard of any concerts in Oklahoma? I don't know. There must have been concerts in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma City. Yeah. OKC. I can only remember 1 year though, that as far as fish tours go, since '96 though. Yeah, they're not very generous with that strip down the middle, along the Mason-Dixon, Arkansas, and the like. Just don't stop there. And neither did the Dead. So.
I'm gonna pack it in, fellas. Here you go. Have a good night.
All right, thanks for jumping in.
Later, man.
Go easy.
All right, well, so we've got today's Thursday. This week kind of got messed up for me, but trying to run out the month with the big Free Patch Friday deal. So we've got the spread of patches over there. We haven't got that many orders. Screen sharing. Just judging off how many times my phone squawks at me. So we've got pretty good odds of grabbing some patches over there. And kind of talking and typing at the same time here. Oh my, yeah. Well, there's 2 orders in, so pretty good odds right now to get something. There's 2 orders in, so I got a couple of people that have ordered stuff earlier in the month that have a couple of slots on the table there, but pretty good odds at this point if you want something off of that table. Every $10 is a grab, and at this point there's 2 people in front of you with $20 orders, so 4 patches taken off of that massive table of stuff. And I was going to add that I tried to set this all up earlier in the week to do it incrementally, but things don't get to go the way you plan it necessarily, so I'm having to pile everything up at the end of the week. I just posted a video someplace, and I'll be posting it at the other place whenever the show's over, that anybody who helps share the project, the campaign, I guess, whatever we're calling this, I'll give away the stuff that is in that free extra pile. So in other words, we've got a Free Patch Friday, and we're doing the pick your own free patch, and it's a massive selection of patches. In that massive selection of patches, I've hidden some little tokens, and if you pick one of those patches with a token under it, then you're going to get another prize as well, like a second giveaway thing. So any of that second giveaway stuff that doesn't get found or doesn't get claimed, and at this point there's only 4 patches being taken from the table, so it's pretty good odds that stuff ain't going to get found. I'm going to give away all that extra stuff to whoever helps me share the project. So at this point it isn't working too well because there's only 2 sales period from the store this week. So yeah, that's super frustrating. So at least I'll have a bunch of patches still left over. There's only going to be 4 taken off of the table right now. But if you want a patch, then grab something from the store and you'll have pretty good odds of grabbing the patches there. Otherwise, please help share it around and you got odds of getting some of that other extra stuff. So yeah, that's depressing. I wish I wouldn't have looked now. I thought I heard that thing. Maybe I was just hallucinating a bunch of noises. I think one of them was during the show right now. Pants ordered something like during the show. I was muted before.
Yeah, what I believe you made note of that, and I'm gonna be back in the I'm gonna be back into the store tomorrow. So
You're pretty much going to have your run of the table there.
did you get my Patreon message about it?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and I picked up another. I've so far you've trucked 3 orders out my way, maybe even. I think the 4th one is going to be on its way this month alone, and the first 2 I just couldn't help myself. I tried on the second one because it was big envelope for me, and I was going to do a like an unpackaging video. Couldn't calm down enough. Had to go through them, and so I'm expressly holding off to do an unboxing and cross post all over the place for that. So maybe I'll be ready to do that tomorrow with the one I just picked up the PO today. Would that be admissible if I did a live DGS opening?
Sure, if you want. Just FYI, any post is a post, so anything helps. If it's more effort to do an unboxing video than just a picture post, it's literally as effective, I think. So
Okay.
I don't want anybody to go out of their way. Now, if somebody does video anyway, and it ain't nothing for them to push this in front of the camera that they were going to have on anyway, then yeah, video is great. But yeah, I should probably caveat that with, please share, on whatever's convenient or easy for you. I don't want people to go out of their way because it's really not, it's incrementally useful, but, none of them is strategically necessary. It's always nice when people post stuff, but, it's not vital. So I don't want people to do stuff that's uncomfortable.
Well, just tonight after I watched the YouTube post that you made this evening, I just kicked that over to Messenger and filled the boat twice. You can pick like either 8 or 10 people to forward to or to Messenger to, and I did it twice with with a bunch of my my 2A and firearms friends. So I mean, I will do all of those little things that I can, and will eventually, I hope, work into doing larger things to help promote the projects that you have and the success of the channel and other outlets. So it's really I mean, I think forwarding for all the public or all the social media platforms is pretty easy and intuitive. So if it, for anybody that's listening, I'd encourage you to do the same. If you drop in and spend just a couple of bucks, you're going to double down on your buying power, and you're going to support a great cause. And if we get a big run at the Gear Website store, G might be able to get that van up and running and come hang out in Tulsa. So go to the shop, guys. Lots of great stuff. Check it out.
I want to be unrealistic. That would be unprecedented. It's never brought in more than a couple of bucks. But yeah, I mean, there is no way to what's the word? You can't start something until you got something there. So yeah, store's there's products in it, and we'll see if people buy stuff or not. But at the same time, I'm not going to spend my whole life worrying about it. So is there anything else we want to chat about tonight?
Can't think of anything.
Right on. So we've been going for a while. I appreciate everybody jumping in, though. Coming up from being under the weather or whatever. It's nice to be able to have something to do than just sit here aching or whatever. So I'm feeling better. And yeah, we'll be getting back into the swing of things, all kinds of projects in the works. And this show, I keep talking about it. We're definitely getting closer and closer to having this show's new version. It'll basically change the way that live shows are done. It'll change the way that podcasting is done. It'll definitely change 2A. Probably get rid of the NFA. That's an extra side benefit.
Nice.
But yeah, we're getting pretty close. So, well, I shouldn't say pretty close, because every time I think I'm pretty close, then I come up with another layer that's going to take, turns out, another week or whatever. But I don't care. I'm not in a big hurry, and I appreciate the people that are staying tuned to this version, because this version will supplement the new one. It'll go live in the noon times, and then this show will be different because so many people see that noontime show and want to be on board. They'll jump in here to try to catch that wave of popularity and fame and fortune. But yeah, I appreciate the people that are sticking around on this end of the fame and fortune slide, getting up to it. No, I don't. I have some sort of either it's an ear infection or something's wrong with my guts. Probably got some kind of massive parasitic infection, cancerous parasitic infection that's radioactive. And I get something that lasts for 12 hours and it's horrible. Let's just say that everything comes out of everywhere for 12 hours. And then almost like literally at 12 hours, it ends. And then I feel like a truck ran over me for a while. And then it's like now and I'm back to normal. So this has been going on since I was in the 20s. They think it might be an inner ear infection because it's super dizzy. But now this is something else that has nothing to do with an infection or anything. Well, maybe it's an infection, but it's not like a cold or a fever or anything like that. It's just dizzy and throwing up, basically. So I don't know if anybody's ever thrown up for like 12 hours, but it's super painful. Like it just hurts all your muscles because you're spending so much, I guess, contracting all those muscles. So I lost 10 pounds.
Good for your abs, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's good for every side. I know every muscle. Like I can feel every single muscle. Like I say, I weighed myself. I just happened to weigh myself the other day, and I weighed myself again. I lost 10 pounds yesterday, puking and everything else.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's not really that big a deal because what water weighs 8 pounds a gallon, so it's basically like I puked out a gallon of water.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, it's nothing like that. It's just that it's annoying, and I wish I could estimate it happens. It just happened at SHOT before. I mean, shit, everything's happened at SHOT. We've been to SHOT 17 times, but you know, it happens. Shit, it happened on the road. I was going up to gun rights policy in Chicago, and I had planned to take a day off because I was driving and everything. I wanted to take a day off on the way up there, and I ate a burrito and got it. So I think sometimes it might be something going on in my guts, but at the same time, I don't know if it's from like I might get like just a drop of water in my ear, taking a shower or something, maybe raining or something. You get a drop of water in your ear. I don't know. If I could figure out the cause, it wouldn't happen because I would eliminate that variable ever, right? But I didn't eat a lot of food on Tuesday whenever it started, but I don't know. I did eat more than I would have normally ate, so I'll try to figure it out, especially on the day after it happened because it's too recent. But anyway, no, not the any of that garbage, fake stuff, or any communicable diseases of any kind. So, unless it's an ear infection, then I guess it's an infection, but it would have been something I've been fostering for forever. Anyway, thanks for everybody for showing up. Like I say, it does feel better to have something to talk. I was in Yankees chat and it lasted for a little while, but it wasn't like a conversation. It was just, adding things in here and there once in a while. How did your chat go? You guys are on keeping people online longer or keeping videos interesting or?
It was out of the panel seemed to have liked it, so served its purpose.
Was it like you had a bunch of stuff to talk about, or you just opened it up to see what people do in that respect?
A little bit of both. I mean, talk about what I do, and then talk about what everybody else does, and then we had Stanley on, which was interesting because he does primarily a fishing channel. So. That's a different perspective, you know what I'm saying, that we're not necessarily used to.
Well, best way to keep them on the line in that case is to use braided high test line and some sort of really strong stainless hook.
All right.
So you don't have to worry about your tackle breaking.
Right.
I guess Patriot's doing some sort of a thing. I already got a life membership in Second Amendment Foundation. It's one of the, am I crazy? That's the cheapest one. It's like $150 only. So that was one of the first ones I got a life membership in, but it sounds like he's giving away life memberships for his 1,000. He's also giving away 1,000 subscribers. So, if you're interested in having a free 1,000 subscribers off of Patriot and Second Amendment Foundation membership, I guess he's doing something on his channel. Yesterday says he's got the quarantine. It sucks. Well, DJ jumped out. I don't know if he'll jump back in or not, but we were kind of signing out there. So I'm going to continue signing off. Thanks, Clover, for having a show again. keeping people interested in the how-tos. It's glad to see that is. I think it's getting it's getting more popular now. Are you getting more viewers, or am I crazy?
I think I get. I don't think I get as many, honestly, at the new time slot. No. It just depends. Depends on the topic. Depends on the week.
Well, I guess I'm judging off of the number of, or the number and variety of people that join it have
Right.
continued to evolve or change. You know, you get new people in there, and it's not like the old people are gone; they're still participating too. So, not everybody maybe, but you get a growing number of people participating in the creator side, I guess.
Right.
We just assume that the viewer side is growing as well. It's hard to say that you get that weird, like, bunch of people that are so weird that they go in and give you a bunch of thumbs, like, before you even start the show. So that's a whole dynamic that's weird.
Yeah, I'll agree.
13 prize packages. Holy moly. So, yeah, definitely go check out Patriots thing. I haven't gotten the tests or anything, and I don't know if when the tests tell you if you're immune or not, but yeah, I bet you a bunch of us got it at SHOT Show. I don't care what anybody says. And we probably, when we go to SHOT Show and get sick, it's not like we get a thing. I'll bet you we get sick at SHOT Show because we get like 14 things, and we're getting sick from 4 of them or something.
Right.
But I wouldn't be surprised if a bunch of people already have it. I don't know. I haven't heard too much about that until, well, because of all the election stuff, I haven't heard anything really about that until I was telling somebody I got sick today. And normally when I tell people I know I got sick, I don't really get sick that often. They know what I'm talking about, this thing. And they're just like, oh, okay, because they know that it comes and goes, and I don't sit around moaning and griping. It's just that I'm not going to do stuff necessarily the day after it happens because I'm sore. So anyway, I was mentioning that, and then one person like freaked out. Oh my goodness, thinking that I had the Rona. But yeah, there's no way I'm going to go just get tested for no reason. That just adds to the BS hype. Like, oh, this many people are positive or not.
Right.
The show is always successful. He puts out the good snacks. That's the way to do it. Who was saying it? Oh, DJ was saying that he's going to put candies in bags and put it at the end of the driveway. I don't know if I'm going to go for that. I didn't challenge him on it because it's his right to do candy how he wants, but I don't know. Who else was I talking to? Maybe it was Yankee talking about trick or treating. Like, if when these kids just go to like a mall and they just walk, they don't even have to go in the store. They just walk the mall and there's somebody standing there giving them candy. That's not trick or treating. That's just some sort of weird privileged, you owe me candy in this, and I got to go walk around and get it, I guess.
Right.
But just leave it, because even when it was regular, back in the olden days when it was real, and you'd go to somebody's house and they just left a bowl out there, like, that wasn't Halloween no more. That was just some like obligation. You're fulfilling some obligation that you feel like you got. Like, come on, if you either want to do Halloween or not, but you know what I mean, like, open the damn door. But I don't like the idea of just putting a bowl out there.
All right.
Just seems like less of a, I don't know. I guess it would be like Christmas without Santa, when it's just like a present out of nowhere. Like, what's the context? Why are we getting this present? Like, what's the point?
Yeah, they're doing drive-through trick-or-treating around here in some places. And I'm like, what do you dress up your car? How does that work?
Yeah, exactly. Because half of it is I would think, at least, just from being a little kid, not from being a parent, but half of it is when the little kids get dressed up and they're super proud of their costume or whatever. And then they go walk up and some old person opens the door who appreciates that and goes, oh, look at you, look like a blah, blah, blah. Like, that's what, candy's nice, but it's that, right? Like, going around and meeting all your neighbors, seeing everybody, and, remembering that you live in a neighborhood, and figuring out that this person likes me more because they gave me Reese's peanut butter cups than that person who hates me because they gave me something gross. And, just going up and having it be the kind of thing. And then all the people talking on the street as they're walking around, like, without all that, then it's just this like ritual, I guess, of handing out candy and supplementing the candy industry's BS. Like, yeah, I think without all that other stuff, it isn't really Halloween anymore.
Right.
But anyway, so that's an end, little nag at the end. Otherwise, if it wasn't mopey, it wouldn't be the Daily Gun Show. So,
Goodness.
All right. Well, we'll be back to pick up later.